Okay, you guys have any problems with these? Any questions? These are pretty easy, pretty straightforward. You've already done a few of these, haven't you? Just on the skills worksheets that we did. Okay. All you're doing is basically just graph, making them graph on a number line, like so. Okay. You know it's a positive, so I always go. It's going to be an open dot. Which direction am I going? To the left, right? And variables on the left-hand side, we can follow the direction of it. No big deal. Like on number 4, what would that be? Everybody tell me what type of inequality is it? So C. Compound, right? Okay, so where am I graphing? Am I graphing out or am I graphing in? On this one, I'm graphing in, right? On number 4. Okay, so you got -1, -2, 1, and 2. So open dot there. Notice where's the variable at? It's in between the two inequalities, right? And they're both facing the same direction. So I would graph inside. Okay? And then an OR, on number 5, you got an OR, so you're graphing where? Graphing out on it, right? So that one's going 0 here. You got 1, 2. Closed dot on 5. Going that way. And then open dot on 8 going that way. Okay, so kind of have to be able to recognize that a little bit. Okay, so based off of that, what we're going to do is we're going to work on set builder notation. Okay, and interval notation. What's another way? Like when I'm dealing with inequalities, what's another way or shorter version that I can write my answers? Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. A couple of things you need to be familiar with, and I included on your notes. You may want to cut this out and put it on in your composition book. Okay, the whole reason for that is so you can do what? When you have a test, you guys can use this on your test, right? To help you out, right? So what you need to understand and take away from this is we need to know what the endpoints are and what it means by bounded. Okay, what does it mean by bounded? What does it sound like? Something's bounded with this. You guys need to push your phones up, please. Okay, it's going to stop somewhere, right? It's going to stop at a number. It's not going to keep going. If I have an arrow on my graph, what's it going to do? It's just going to keep going, right? Okay? You guys know, what do we use to show something that keeps going? It looks like a little sideways 8, doesn't it? Just like that. That's an infinity sign, right? Now, it could either be a negative infinity or it could be a positive. And a lot of times they don't even put the positive sign on there. And that just tells me that it keeps on going. Everybody clear on that? Okay, so you won't use those in a bounded note, will you? If it's bounded, if it stops, you won't use these two symbols. Everybody clear on that? Okay, so with some examples. Here's what you need to understand. Here's what you need to take away from this, the biggest thing. If I'm going to write it this is interval notation. So I'm going to take this inequality, like what we just graphed, and I'm going to put it in interval notation. Now, if it's a closed dot, I'm going to use a bracket. Okay, write that down. If it's a closed dot, I'm going to use a bracket. If it's an open dot, I'm going to use what? a parenthesis. Everybody understand? So when you put a parenthesis on interval notation, I know that it's an open dot, right? If you put a bracket on there, then I know that it's a closed dot. So I'm going to include that number. Here I would include both of these values. On this one, I would include both the values. Would I? I'm not going to include A or B in my answer. Does everybody understand that? Okay, closed dot. Now, again, if you have a closed dot on one end, put a bracket. You got an open dot on one end, you got a parenthesis. So everybody with me so far? And then you just put your numbers, whatever the value for A, whatever the number for A is, and then whatever the number for B is. All right? Pretty simple. Okay, so any questions on that? Okay, so on the next one now, you have an unbounded. What do you suppose unbounded means? Keeps on going, doesn't it? All right? Can I keep on going in either direction? Sure. If I'm going in this direction, what do you think the outside? That would be what? And then A would be my number. Okay, what would I use for A? What type of symbol would I use? I would use a bracket, wouldn't I? Because it's a closed dot. Now, to close this one, I would use a parenthesis because it's not bounded. Okay, it keeps on going. Okay, what about on this one? What would I use? Parenthesis here. That would be approaching infinity, and then close it with a parenthesis. Okay, what would this one be? Bracket there. Okay, it would be a parenthesis, and then it would be a negative infinity. Just like so. But it gives you the examples right here. This one would be parenthesis. Oops. Be negative infinity, and then close it with parenthesis. Just interval notation. That's what you have to understand. It's interval notation. Is everybody good so far? Pretty easy? Yeah? Okay. Let's work a couple minutes. We'll work these together. All right, bounded or unbounded? Is it bound? Yeah, it's bounded, isn't it? Okay. What are my symbols? Closed dots, aren't they? So what am I going to use for this? Brackets, good. My left value would be -2, and my right value would be 3. Pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, what about B? Is it bounded or unbounded? Be unbounded, wouldn't it? Okay, it's going to keep going. Which direction is it going to keep going now? To the right, right? Okay, so I'm going to start where? Parenthesis or bracket? Parenthesis, good. -1, and then it approaches infinity, and then I close it with a parenthesis. Now the graphs are pretty easy, aren't they? Because I can just go over the top of it. That's a bracket there. That's a parenthesis there. My value on the left is -2. My value on the right is 4. And then you can condense it if you want to. Oh, -3, I'm sorry. My bad. Some of you probably got alerts on your phone too that you're failing. It's not true. Okay, I went back and when I put the grades in, I put like 1,030. Okay, but it's actually just out of 30. So it dropped all your scores, but I fixed it. So, Just thought it was my mistake. Okay. Early April Fool's joke. So everybody should be good though. Go back and check it. You should be fine. Okay. What about this one? Bounded or unbounded? Unbounded. So my left side is going to be a parenthesis, right? And it keeps going, so it'll be negative infinity, right? And then the right side is going to be 3, and it's bounded, so I close it with a bracket because it's closed off. Everybody good so far? Okay. I think on the next slide there's 3 problems in there. Okay, you guys work those 3 on your own real quick. And then we'll see if I have some volunteers who want to come up and answer. Any volunteers on the first one? Anybody want to come up and work it? No brave souls out there? Come on now. Ethan, I know you're just dying to work this, aren't you? Huh? Guys, what about you? No? Come on now, you guys know this stuff. Is it bounded or unbounded? You guys tell me, is it bounded or unbounded? Bounded, isn't it? It's got a left side and a right side, right? It stops. So it's bounded, isn't it? Okay, what would I use? Brackets or parentheses? Parentheses. The left value is -7. My right value is -4. That's what you should have got. What about the middle one? Bounded or unbounded? Keeps going, doesn't it? Okay, which direction? To the left. So it's open, or it's parentheses, negative infinity. Okay, then my 5, how do I close it? Bracket, good. Next one, bounded or unbounded? Unbounded, good. Okay, so I'm going to use a bracket, -2, approaching infinity. And then I'm going to use the parentheses, just like so. So if I put 7 or 8 of those on the test, you guys should be able to knock those out, right? Okay. We'll do, this is the first of, I think, like 7 sections in chapter 1. You can kind of look at your textbook a little bit, see how many sections are in there. We may or may not do all of them, okay? But after we do 3 sections, we're going to have a quiz. Okay? And if you have your composition book, you can use it on your quiz. Okay? Just make sure that it's up to date, got everything squared away, everything's glued in there, right? It's not just stuck in there. Right? Why are we doing this? We're working on what? Organizational skills, right? Trying to get organized and stay organized. It's a valuable asset to have when you guys get to college. Okay? Plus you get a little help. Alright. Set builder notation. Set builder notation, the one thing that you have to be aware of are these symbols right there. Okay, that's what you're using in set builder notation. You're using those little S brackets like that. Okay, I'm not sure what the technical term is. Most of our values are going to be X. Okay, for all numbers X is going to equal such and such and such. Alright, this is called set builder notation. Now, there's a couple of examples. If you see you have a graph like this, this is what it's going to look like. It's an OR problem. This one's an OR problem, but if you notice, the only one value that's not going to work is what? It's going to be whatever A is, whatever that number is. Okay, that's the only number that's not going to work. Would 1.2, if I say that A is 1, would 1.2 work? Yeah. Would negative 1.8 work? Yeah. So on and so forth. Does that make sense? Just one negative 1 will not work though. Okay, so sketch the graph of each one of these numbers. What type is that going to be? Is it a compound inequality? And the graph goes where? Inside, right? So I'm drawing a number line. Got 2 and 5, so I'm going to start with 0. Top of 6 there. Open dot on 2, close dot on 5, and then graph inside. Okay, and if you notice, the big giveaway is that the variable is in the middle of the two symbols, right? And both the symbols are pointing where? In the same direction, right? Okay, it's a big giveaway. On the other one, you know that my graph should look like what? It's going to go out, it's a north, right? Okay, so number line here, we start at 0. You want to make it 1 in that direction, close dot there, going that way, open dot on 4, going that way. Very simple, right? Okay. So, can I write one? All integers greater than 5. How would I write that? That'd be x is greater than 5, wouldn't it? Okay, now if I'm going to put it in set builder notation, use that symbol, all values for x, draw a line, and then you just bring that down here. And then close it with subset. What do you notice here? This one's a little tougher. What's it going to look like? Might help to graph it on the number line first, right? Okay, so what's this mean? The parenthesis means I have an open what? Open dot, right? So I'm going to start at 0, open dot there, and it's going, where's my arrow going? To the left, right? And then on the other side, I have an open dot on -1, which is there, and it's approaching positive infinity. So in your graph, you got a hole, don't you? That's what we call a hole. You have a hole in your graph. Okay, there's a hole there. Where's the hole? It's at -1, right? If I write it in set builder notation, subset symbol, all values of x, okay, and so x is less than or equal to, oh, that's all right. X is less than -1, or x is greater than -1, and then close it with subset. Just another way to show your answers. And honestly, a lot of times you're probably going to see it like this. And when you guys take the ACT, guess how your answers are always going to be represented. Just like this. Okay? Just like this. So all your answer choices will be in set builder notation. Okay. From you guys. When is the ACT? Next one. Is it coming out there pretty quick? Don't they have one in the fall and then one in the spring? I thought they did. Maybe just be in the spring. Okay, you guys see if you can work those four real quick. First two ought to be pretty easy. Do them on your own real quick. Give you a little bit of time. Okay, what's my first one look like? Put 0 over here. Open dot there. Close dot on -2. My graphic's going where? Where should it go, guys? Go in, good in. Okay, you got an OR. Okay, 0, so we'll start there. We're just going to go by 2s. You guys are okay with that. Okay, close dot there. Going that way. Close dot on 10. Going that way. Okay, so on this one, on 6, this is what it should look like. Set builder notation, so I'm using my brackets right like this. Okay, so for all values X, and then put my line there. Okay, it's an OR problem, right? So X is going to be less than or equal to. How do I know it's equal to? Because of what? Because that bracket right there, right? Less than or equal to -1, or X is greater than, and it's an open, right? Because of my parenthesis, greater than 1. And then close it. Is everybody good on that? Give me a thumbs up if you guys are good. Thumbs down if you're not so sure. Okay. Okay, set of all integers except number 4. So I include every number on the number line, right? Except for -4. So what does that mean? I got a hole, don't I? Okay, where's my hole at? -4, right? Okay, so set builder notation, X, then my line. X is less than -4, or X is greater than -4. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can do that too. What's another way I can show it? Chris brought up a good point. Another way I can show it is x is not equal to -4. Okay, same thing. Okay. All right. Any questions? You guys feel pretty good about that? Okay, you should have got a sheet, right? Okay, just handed it has a sheet that looks like this. Let me pull it up real quick. So you should have got a sheet that looks just like this. If you notice at the top it says what? Page 7. Three through 32 all. Where's that at? It's in your textbook. Right? Now, you feel like, class is over, you got almost an hour to work on that, right? That's like 28 problems. Okay, now if you feel like you're not going to get finished with it, okay, one or two things you can do. Option 1, probably take a picture with your phone of the textbook, right? Option number 2, I'll put it on Google Classroom for you guys. You can pull it up on your computer, right? Okay, and then there'll be a third option, hopefully, whenever they get our code stuff. Okay, where you'll be able to pull it up online on your own, have your own code. Okay, you got 3 options of what you can do. I think probably most of you will probably do what? Hopefully you'll finish in class. Okay, if you'd like to listen to music while you work, I'm okay with that. I'm going to listen to music while I work. So, yeah. Jason, you don't have both? Right back there, Casey. This one on. Yeah, here you go, Casey. But you don't have a basket, so we'll have to just put it next to it. Okay? If you don't have a book, there's some back there if you need one. And if you don't have a basket to store it under your desk, just check and see if your neighbor next to you's got one. Okay? You guys warm? Yeah, I'm gonna turn there down. If you have questions.